Today, I want to address a question that we get asked pretty often. Why should I address my hearing loss at all? Maybe you can't hear as well as you used to, but does it really matter? Why not just ignore your hearing loss? The fact is, even if you don't seem to be suffering any side effects from your hearing loss, there are good reasons to address it before it gets worse. The first reason is that hearing loss can cause social isolation and depression. Hearing loss is like the social isolation that everyone experienced while quarantining from the global virus. The difference is, when you have hearing loss, you're isolated every day, permanently. When you can't hear the way you used to, coping with everyday life can be a constant, frustrating ordeal. Straining to hear what people are saying or to read their lips takes a lot more energy than normal listening. A lot of people actually develop headaches from it. You may find yourself avoiding everyday activities that are more challenging. You may avoid social gatherings or decline invitations to parties. As you interact less with family, friends, and coworkers, feelings of anxiety, sadness, and depression can increase. Women, in particular, often sink into depression when they feel cut off from conversations with the people around them. Worst of all, the auditory deprivation you experience from hearing loss can affect your ability to regain hearing in the future, even with hearing aids. If you wait until these issues become unbearable, you may find that you waited too long. Your brain is the biggest reason why you should get your hearing loss addressed. Many of our clients are surprised to learn this, but in fact, your ears don't hear. They are only a piping system. Your brain hears. The outside of your ear is called the pinna. This is the part that looks like a radar, captures the sound, and guides it down the ear canal. The eardrum, also known as the tympanic membrane, is 1 inch from the outside of your ear. Now, when sound occurs, the eardrum moves, causing 3 small bones on the back side of the eardrum to move. These 3 bones, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes, are the smallest bones in your body. The third bone, the stapes, is 1/8 of an inch, which is like the size of a piece of rice. The stapes touches 20,000 hair cells in your cochlea. And the cochlea is a fluid-filled structure in your inner ear, about the size of an eraser on a number 2 pencil. It's located below the mastoid bone behind your ear. Sound causes vibrations in the cochlea, which cause chemicals to rush into the cells, causing an electrical signal. This electrical signal travels on the auditory nerve to the brain, which converts it to something we understand. Most hearing loss comes from those 20,000 little hairs wearing down and not working properly. This is called sensorineural neural hearing loss. Hearing aids help to address this loss so that the proper signals are sent to your brain. When you have to strain to hear, your brain uses a lot of resources, which would normally be used for other functions, and this decreases your cognitive health. When you get hearing aids to help you hear, then the brain is free to perform all the functions of healthy cognition. Now, if anyone in your family suffers from dementia, addressing hearing loss is even more important for the quality of your life. Based on a study from the Lancet Commission, family genetics and age account for 60% of dementia cases. Obviously, family genetics and age you can't change. Of the remaining 40% of dementia cases, there are 12 modifiable items which can impact the levels of dementia. Based on this study, hearing loss is the biggest modifiable action one can take to have an impact on their dementia. That means if you have hearing loss and a family history of dementia, addressing your hearing loss can put all the odds in your favor against dementia. When you get a hearing aid to address hearing loss, it helps to send all the proper electrical signals to your brain. Proper and regular stimulation to the brain gives a person the best chance to be engaged with others. Hearing your family members and friends when they speak to you can really restore the quality of life for most people, including dementia patients. Exhaustion is another big challenge of hearing loss that most people don't understand until it starts happening to them. When you can't hear, you start to lip read. You focus on someone's facial expressions, and you ask them to repeat themselves. At first, this doesn't take too big of a toll on you energetically. But when you have to ask for clarification many times in every conversation, it gets old and tiring. In fact, it's like having a second job. Instead of effortlessly participating in life and conversation, your job is to try to hear others. And it's a job you have to keep until you finally address your hearing loss. One client told us, listening is exhausting. Another said, I go to bed most nights with nothing left. It takes so much energy to participate in conversations all day that I'm often asleep within minutes. As you can imagine, the constant struggle to hear others wears people down and drives them away from social engagement. So far, we've talked about the cognitive and emotional strain that hearing loss places upon a person. But you're also setting yourself up for the risk of serious physical harm by not addressing your hearing loss. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that hearing loss is tied to a 3-fold higher incidence of falling and getting hurt. This makes sense because hearing is intimately involved in using our feet, our walkers, and helping to gauge our distance from objects and other people. Getting hearing aids dramatically enhances your coordination and makes all of your movements much safer than they would be otherwise. Last but not least, addressing your hearing loss can bring serious relief from tinnitus and those awful ringing sounds. If you have tinnitus, your brain is stressed. Tinnitus is caused by overactive nerves in your brain. These stressors can include hearing loss exposure to loud noises, trauma to the ears, overwhelming stress, and chemical imbalances. 95% of people with tinnitus also have some level of hearing loss. In fact, most times, the hearing loss came before the tinnitus. Now, the good news is, if you address your hearing loss, the symptoms of tinnitus often improve too. Oftentimes, when you get hearing aids and restore your ability to hear external sounds, like other people's voices, you may not even notice your own tinnitus anymore. This is because your brain is now focusing on those external sounds instead of the internally generated tinnitus sounds. If you have extremely loud tinnitus, we can fine-tune your hearing aid to include soothing therapies, like not amplifying sounds at the tinnitus frequencies. We can also have your hearing aids play relaxing sounds, like ocean waves, when you choose to activate it. If you aren't hearing as well as you used to, there's no better time to address it than right now. The right hearing aids can preserve the quality of your social life, the optimal functioning of your brain, and your energy levels, all while keeping you safe from falls and relieving irritating tinnitus symptoms. So don't wait. Give us a call today.